Today's episode of The Chop Shop is brought to you by our good folks over at Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code The Chop Shop at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using the code The Chop Shop.
I love this record. Welcome to the Chop Shop. I'm Eddie James. Next to me is my trusty brother from another mother, DJ React. Man. Oh, this is I have no words. This has been one of my favorite records for, I want to say maybe, we're pushing on a decade. This gentleman is from the east side of Detroit, Michigan. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Just want to be clear. He dubbed himself Tall Black Guy. And we're going to get into how he dubbed himself Tall Black Guy. He has worked with so many people, and he is talked about and waxed poetic by some of our favorite producers and musicians. And we'll get into that as well. We are so happy to have him here on the show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Tall Black Guy.
What's going on? What's going on?
On the Chop Shop.
How tall are you?
6'5". 6'5".
Oh, okay.
He's able to dunk it.
Oh,
on his tippy toes?
Man, listen here, bro. There's no more dunking on these knees anymore. That escaped me about 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago.
Jeez. Yeah, like to be honest, like we'll get into that, but Soundtrack said he'll slam it on your head. Pause.
Soundtrack is like, I think he like 6'7".
Yeah, he is, man.
Like 6'7", 6'8". He look like
he
might be tall, but he look like he can't play no basketball though.
Yeah, he kind of light,
He kind of light. That's my man's though.
No, I know, man. And listen, man, I can't even begin to. I had notes. I started off.
Show everybody your notes.
Yeah, I started.
Those are
what is that in the middle though?
Excellent notes.
Because I scratched out something, and I was just like, you know what?
You got like 5 words there.
I know. There was like I said, Tall Black Guy, and then I was just like, you know what? He's been one of my favorite producers since day one. It's literally for a long time. I don't need notes for this interview, for real, because I know the area, Detroit, and I want to know a lot of things about you, T. First and foremost, man, once again, thanks for coming on the Chop Shop. I appreciate it. For a producer of your stature, you are talked about by some of my favorite producers and musicians, Questlove and is it Giles Peterson or Giles Peterson?
I tend to call him Giles.
Yes,
that's what I call him.
Giles is worldwide, and if Giles is talking about Tall Black Guy, Tall Black Guy is worldwide, and I knew it, man. When I first heard your records, it was around 2009 or 10. I got a hold of your records.
Word.
The first record that you did with House Shoes, actually.
Yeah, we did. The test pressing, the street corner test pressings, where we, I think at the time we did a flip of the electric piano, which was on a record he put out with Dilla in the 90s. And
that's right.
It was an interlude. I can't remember what the name of the actual sample was, but that's what it was. It was like a contest or something like that. And then,
Whoa, shit! But I mean, that record's not floating around. I wish that joint. I wish I had that record. I'm talking about the first album that you did on Street Corner.
Oh, that's the only one. That's the only one I did with him. I did 2 of them. I did that one, and then I did another test pressing one. That was the only 2 records I did with him.
Okay, but anyway, I knew that. I'm glad that you mentioned Dilla because you know, there were a lot of Dilla influence, and I'll say that I am with my production. I am older than Dilla. I'm older than you. It's okay to be influenced, but with you, your sound is Detroit. It's soulful. You are Detroit, and the way you chop samples and the way you work, and your musician, like your musicality. That's a word, right? I think it is.
Yes, yes, it is.
It is
musicianship, musicality. It's all
I said musicality. I feel like fucking Noriega right now. It's okay. Your musicality, man, and your chord progressions, man, like they really caught me from day one. Can you speak to your early influences and how you got into music, period?
I would say this, like, you know, my father, he had me very young. So he had me when he was 19 in the 80s. And so I kind of speed up the process of the whole thing. But like, so, and then all my cousins were all like 10 years older than me. And then you got to remember, like, this is in the 80s. So hip hop was fairly new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I grew up in an era where we had, you know, where the music, it was all about the music, and hip hop was still a new thing and a new sound, and everybody was trying to experiment with it. And so I grew up in that era.
Planet Rock, Crew. Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. I mean, the list goes on. So, but my introduction into music actually came from my cousin. She was a young lady at the time, but you know, she used to beatbox in like ciphers and stuff, right? I picked up from her was beatboxing as my form of music. You know, I didn't have any, I mean, you know, back then, you know, music classes were kind of common. They were like a part of the electives when you went to school or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, you take like the little piano classes, blah, 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 but it's still, music never really connected in that fashion at that time.
Yeah.
But beatboxing
that's some Detroit shit, because did you have that in the Bronx?
What, music classes?
Yeah. No, but music classes like separately, because were they separate?
No, they were all in the same. So you could take a music 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth until whatever you stop. So it was a part of the actual electives of classes they would provide for you at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, similar. Our high school did that.
Yeah, no, we had music classes, but I think I was trying to say if you had like, it was something that it was like you were actually learning, like, were you learning theory and like chord progressions and chords, or is it just like general fucking music shit? Excuse my language.
All general music stuff, bro.
Okay.
I mean, whatever. Okay. I mean, you know, the first music, you know, the first instrument they was teaching us on was like the recorder. So like that was the first.
Yeah, they sent you.
Oh yeah.
And so you play your little songs, you know, Twinkle Little Star and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Mary Had a Little
Lamb, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I know your parents with this shit, but I was like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, so my musical influences really came from me being around my father. You know, he was a real big jazz head, and he was still a kid. So he was immersed in hip hop, you know, as well. You know what I'm saying? And then the same with my cousins. My cousins were all 10 years apart, you know, 10 years older than me. So it was the same thing. Music I didn't really start really dial in with it, maybe until like, as far as like trying to experiment with it, until my beginning of high school, you know, like listening to like the college radio stations and stuff like that, where you would do like little pause tapes. So I was always trying to like loop up my favorite section of let's say, The Business from De La Soul, right? I try to loop up that, you know, the end part of that, to try to loop that over, or shadowboxing or whatever else I wanted, you know what I mean? I was trying to loop those, you know, just to make instrumentals, whatever, just to kind of get the understanding of how to record and overdub or whatever. So then you fast forward to like around high school, I say around like well, the later part of high school, probably around like 16, I had started meeting some guys who were like, recording, little tracks or whatever like that, doing their thing. And that kind of got like, oh man, it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? And I always had this little beatbox thing. That was always kind of, if you beatbox, you would like make up songs as you in the shower and you doing a cleanup song or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? And probably like right after high school, after I graduated high school, some out of nowhere just say, hey, I just want to make tracks. And the first piece of equipment that I got my hands on, and it wasn't even really equipment, it was a software. It was called Sonic Foundry 2.0.
Ooh, never heard of it.
Oh,
I was about to ask React, because React is the
I'm a
software nerd.
Yeah, we spoke.
Yeah, Sonic Foundry 2.0 was the name of it. It was in like the late 90s, early 2000s. One of the very first ones, like right around when Fruity Loops was just kind of coming around a little bit.
Yeah.
Right before Reason. Reason wasn't even, I think Reason maybe came out in like 2002. That was my introduction. I think the program cost maybe $60. My parents wasn't going to buy me no MPC, and I didn't have the forethought in my, at the time to just save up your money and go get one or figure out a way to work for it and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I tried, so when I first got into the program, whatever, I was, 18 years old, still trying to figure out what I want to do in my life. I play basketball. Parents on your back.
Yeah, turn around and dunk on a motherfucker because you're 6'5".
At that time, I could actually dunk the basketball, and I was actually a pretty good player. I
play against Northern.
No, I played a little bit. I played like junior college, but in high school, I did play against Dwayne Wade though.
Attention, basketball fanatics. It is game time. That's right. NBA season is back. You already know. Knicks tape all day long, but it's okay. Even if you're not a Knicks fan, we got an MVP slam dunk for you this season. That's right. Our friends over at Manscaped, they just put out some game-changing stuff. This trimmer is 100% your new MVP. It's going to give you that nothing but net feeling once you're done. The brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra from Manscaped. Do not be the guy who fouls out in the grooming department. Be the guy that scores 20% off and free shipping with the code TheChopShop at Manscaped.com. Get the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and get your grooming game in championship form. Let me break down the play-by-play for you real quick. Inside this package, the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This is their 5th generation trimmer. It has 2 interchangeable blades. It's 2 razors in one. There's a standard blade for taking a little bit off the top, and their new foil blade, which will keep you nice and smooth wherever you decide to shave. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra also features dual LED spotlights. That is right. You could shave your balls in the dark. Trust me, I tried it the other day in complete darkness. No nicks, no cuts. Complete darkness, smooth balls. Don't forget, if you're taking it on the go, Manscaped's got you covered. This puppy comes with the travel case already. It even has a travel lock feature on the device itself to avoid any accidental powering and weird looks at the airport. We are on the cutting edge of cutting pubes, people. Upgrade your ball trimmer and your life will follow. Once again, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code TheChopShop at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with our code TheChopShop at Manscaped.com. I could promise you've never seen a ball trimmer look like a spaceship. This thing is a spaceship. Get yours today from our folks over at Manscaped.
Oh yeah, I was at Northern High School in Detroit, because my one of my best friends is Derek Coleman, and he's my big bro, and he is mad at you.
Why is that?
Southside.
Right. He is East Side cat too, right?
No, he is a West Side.
He's a West Side dude.
12th Street.
Oh,
12th Street.
oh yeah, he over there by my pop's.
Yeah,
business and
Rosa
stuff.
Parks. There was no
Yeah.
Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
You didn't say it.
You already know he was trying to. But anyway,
Yeah, no. Immediately he was like, I don't hear any parts where he's like, yo, call him right now. Like, Detroit, bro.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in Detroit.
Yeah,
But continue, man, because it's interesting about you were speaking about the equipment and the software.
So the software. So I tried my thing at it. I quit after like a month, right? Just because I couldn't understand how to sequence the drums, and I couldn't get my drums to sound, or my music to sound like all the folks I looked up to, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, all the guys, right? So like later on, I was like, man, I got to get this thing another try. And I swear from that day forward, it maybe had to be maybe about 6 months later is when it pretty much all time stopped. This is what I wanted to do. I mean, the hours that I spent at the beginning, for those first 6, 7, 8 years, I mean, it was unconscious. I mean, you're talking 18, 19, 20-hour days sometimes, to the point where I wouldn't mess with no broads. I was staying in the house, you know what I'm saying? And
Detroit's a tough city, by the way.
So what's crazy is that I started in Detroit, but by my parents being in 2 different separate places, and at that time I was living with my dad, I ended up moving back to Chicago. So this is where my mom's from. And that's kind of where I made my, started getting my footing and all that type of stuff or whatever. But it started in Michigan or whatever, in Detroit.
You still had to stay inside.
Oh, it was always it's always
because the east side of Detroit was hard, or is hard, and then
it's terrible. Now it's still it's
I know
it's still it's still, but it makes the heart though. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, I know, and I can feel it, balls in your music, and then you have the Chicago, because you've done house music too, so I can hear the house music in your music. Excuse me. You learn really fast in a short period of time. You already gave a date about the early 2000s, right? About the software, right?
Yeah.
You learn really fast about what you were going to do and what kind of music you were going to do. Speak to your influences. You said Pete Rock, you said Premier, but what about in the 90s when all that hip hop was happening? Were you involved with music like early 90s or
not making, but just a lot of listening? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
you're a DJ too as well.
I wouldn't necessarily call myself a DJ.
You're a DJ. I've seen you.
I haven't blend 2 records together in a long time. I kind of started backwards. Like I went into production first, and then when it was time to actually come and present my music out, I had to figure out a way to do that, and so, I use the technology to my advantage. Anyways, let's go back to the 90s. So at the time, man, I mean, all of the golden era. So, I mean, De La, Tribe, Nas, I mean, even when Timberland and Neptunes kind of came into play. But what's funny is that during the 90s, I actually stopped listening to hip hop for like 5 years and like went into R&B, and that was kind of my, like, I didn't know at the time, but that was where I started to understand the melodic, be very melodic with trying to implement that later in my tracks, hence why I always try to dial into the soul chords or whatever like that, but I mean, even then, bro, I mean, I was a really big Snoop fan.
For the people who don't know, like, your music is truly worldly, man. You get a guy like Giles Peterson, who is, I mean, just an amazing DJ. Just
he's a what do you call it, a tastemaker?
Yes, that's the word. And even House Shoes. House Shoes
is too, yeah.
House Shoes he is a tastemaker
for the producers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what that's what he dials into.
Yep, and he's very fickle about his music. You you were on his roster very early, and he is a tastemaker, and I do look to all the producers that he's put out throughout the years, and you know, Questlove has waxed poetic about you, and Jazzy Jeff, my favorite DJ on the planet. You are one of his favorite, so you learned really fast. So when I hear your music, I'm like, you say Primo, right? And Pete Rock.
So we'll go down to producers. So it'll be, and there's no order. It'll be Premier, Pete Rock, Madlib, and then I always tie in Timberland and Neptunes, kind of, you know, because they were more experimental, you know.
Yeah,
with their melodic, you know, but they were melodic as well, you know. Madlib, for the simple fact that dude was, he would make hip hop tracks, but then he would veer off and go do jazz.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
hard right, like, hard left. Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like that was the chameleon he had in him, though. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously Premier for the micro chops and the minimal funk. You know, he could catch you with like the most minimal chops, but it's be the most funkiest thing you ever heard.
Mass Appeal. How about that?
You know what I'm saying? Like he did the loop of the Omar Jamal joint. You know what I'm saying? Like that's insane. And then you got you got Pete Rock, for the simple fact he would chop, but his way of doing it is that he would incorporate all these many difference of samples and genres and make them as if they were his band. So even though he didn't necessarily know how to play an instrument per se, he knew how to get these samples and things in the same key. And so you take all 5 of those cats, and that's pretty much my style in one. And then, you know, you kind of add the house elements and things like that. But that's like the nucleus of what my sound came from.
Did you first start listening to house music because of your travels to Chicago?
The house music, man, actually, you know what brought me there? Like listening to, I first started off with like easy listening music. So, you know, listening to like your Abstra Gabiltos and your Flora Pareems and those people.
That's right.
You know, that was like my introduction to music of the world, right?
What put you on Astro Gilberto?
Listen, man, I went to Borders one day, bro.
Okay.
And I was like, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me grab this. And then I grabbed this, and I remember distinctively I grabbed Flora Pareem's Butterfly Dreams, and that pretty much changed my life right there. Right then and there. That shit was like, I've never heard this person before. She's the greatest person ever alive. I love her. And I was a fan ever since. And then I went down this rabbit hole, man, and I started just finding all this crazy obscure jazz.
Yeah.
You know, and then so you take that along with, you know, you start digging into these samples. Yeah. You know, so you go get a Cal Drader Amazonius, and then later you find out that some dude might have turned into a little house edit or something like that. You know, and then on top of that, just as a producer, this is just like me as I've been progressing and just seeing the natural progression of you can make the beats, but learning once you start presenting your music, how to make music that's going to move people.
And by the way, he say he's not a DJ, but they only allow DJs to do boiler rooms. He has he's on a boiler room, people. And his boiler room set is fantastic.
Yeah, but like going back to what you said about making, you know, people dance or making people move, that's why house music to me is so intriguing too, because it's the backbone of pop music, you know, and I feel like top 40 is not really hip hop driven anymore. You know?
It's not, man. And it really, hip hop, I mean, house music is nothing but just disco.
Yeah. Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to dial in the disco. Disco came from funk.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So you take all these different things, and think about as you learn how to actually, like, it's harder for a cat that's primarily a hip hop producer to go into the house world, because the house world it's a whole totally different aesthetic of how you put the records together. You know what I'm saying? It's just our feel. It's a different feeling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And as you start to learn the song structures and just even the pieces that you take, the chord progressions and things like that, you know, like it's not as easy just putting a 4 on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to really study it, you know, to really try to understand how to take something that you already do now, you know, with the production of doing hip hop beats and knowing how to use those samples in the same manner, but just using it in a way that you're going to get people to move though. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I mean, you're talking about, you mentioned funk and you're right, because the number one thing with funk music by Bootsy Collins is on the one.
On the one. I mean,
that's right.
That was actually that was James Brown. James Brown's theory.
Right. That's where you got it from.
That James Brown theory, man. I mean, that's the literally your heart rate. That's your heartbeat right there.
That's right.
And
that's right.
And, you know, so
like a lot of people say, oh, you're right. It was definitely James Brown. Bootsy Collins
took it to George.
Took it to George. Thank you.
Yeah.
George Clinton and funk became funk what it is, but you know, it is what it is, man. Like, but you do all of it very well, man. I mean,
thank you, man.
Like, I'm living a dream right now. I really am, because I get to talk to my favorite producers and just the music that you've put out. And I'm gonna bring this up again because a lot of people, you know, Detroit is Detroit, and then there's Detroit and there's Dilla Detroit. You know, and you got a lot of people who are spawned from Dilla.
Yeah.
And it's okay. That's completely fine. And a lot of people do it well. I will not mention, because I don't want them to feel, because I want them on the show. You know, but they know who they're influenced, and it's okay to be influenced.
Yeah.
But when I hear your music, I don't hear Dilla. You know, and for somebody to be starting in the early 2000s when Dilla was really J Dilla, your music, it doesn't feel like his, but it feels, it feels a lot. It feels dope. It's just something different, and that's just great, man. Like,
oh man, thank you.
To be in your own lane. We're not Noriega or whatever. We're not Noriega with the fucking shows and flowers, but you do deserve your flowers, man.
Thank you, man.
It's the truth, man. It really is, man, because I've been championing your music for a very long time, and it's going to. Me and React talk about aging well with music.
Yeah,
and I know, like 20 years from now, when I play, you know, Re-Rolling for You.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Re-Rolling for You. That touched me, bro.
Man,
it's going to age well, and I know the original record. You told me about the original record.
Yeah, it was.
And then I listened to the original.
Who was that? That was Bobby McFerrin, Jubilee.
Yes, it was a Bobby McFerrin record, but just the original record, and then you just beautifully.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love this record. We're gonna let it ride because I want to hear the bridge to this record and the chord progressions, because we talk about music that can move you to emotions. This right here, We're gonna let it breathe, T.
All right, let's go.
Like right here, right here. Insane. Yeah. That's cool. Right there, react. I'm talking about the goosebumps. you know it, T. You know what I'm saying? It's the music that moved to tears, bro. And
Wow.
you know, and that's perfect. You know, but when you told me but the background about the song, it was for somebody who passed, right?
Yeah, DJ Devastate. I think he was out of Sweden.
Okay.
What was crazy is before, I think the brother's name that reached out to me, his name is Christopher. I can't remember his last name, but he's from Sweden. He was DJ Devastate's right hand man. They started a label.
Mm-hmm.
And I had talked to DJ Devastate maybe about a month before he had passed. He had passed of overdose, and I was heavy, you know, and I because they were wanting me to do something on their label, you know. I was like, cool, man, you know, and I was a fan of music anyway, so yeah, you know, and I was, you know, I just happened to hear that song from Bobby McFerrin. Actually, it was this a cappella group out of DC.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the.
I saw the YouTube of it. It was like they were in a church, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That. Yeah.
And so they did a cover of that song, and I heard, and I remember I was trying to, because they didn't have any music out, and I remember I was able to track down the CD. I bought it from Amazon, and then I found Bobby McFerrin's original version, and so I merged both of those together. But I wanted to kind of say the message that was kind of talking to Devastate, and at least of what I felt it was. You know, about wasted life is a crime. Like, that's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Man, like listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, like, the original song, you'll hear it in the original song by Bobby McFerrin. But T, what you did to the record, absolutely crazy. But very beautiful. It came at a time when I actually lost a friend.
Wow.
And I was listening to that record like hard. I didn't know that there was a life that was taken, or a life that was gone. And then I asked you, you know, maybe about a year ago, and you told me it was about. And I was like, wow, because I felt the same way for my brother, who had passed away. On to other records. We're gonna play records because the people really. I just want people to know, man. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Tall Black Guy. Oh my God.
Yeah. Fireness.
This is how you mix. This is how you create records and chops and make it work. For anybody who wants to get out in the game and produce records, this is the perfect gumbo.
That's a good word.
I mean,
gumbo.
On, man. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Funny thing about that record, man, like, because it was crazy. A lot of this music, man, was out of my own personal things I was going through, and I remember distinctively when we were having a conversation earlier about our significant others or whatever. Mm-hmm. That came out of an argument.
Okay.
That came out of an argument, and I remember she was pissing me off. And so rather than me stay in the bed with you, let me go channel this into this thing. And that was actually a remix for this cat named Takoya Kuroda. The song was called RESBD, and you know, I had the song, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, and so I kind of just played around, and those chords came up, but the emotion came out of the argument with my ex-wife. So, you know, and I'm just learning now that I might not necessarily write in the word form, but I'm starting to understand the connection of what chords and what emotions they bring out now. Mm-hmm. That's my form of composing and writing. You know what I'm saying?
Almost about a year ago, we were talking.
Yeah.
And you were like, yo, the power of the collab.
Yes.
Well, I have to do music on, you know, like if you can build with somebody else, and your relationship with Zoe, the groundwork that you guys have done together. Speak to how you met up with Zoe and you guys got together.
This all starts in the beginning, you know, in the early mid 2000s, man. Like I had a friend of mine who gave me his first beat tape, which is called Passion and Definition, in like 06, 07, you know, and I heard it. I was like, man, this cat, whoever this cat is crazy. Knowing, little did I know he didn't stay too far away from me. He stayed like 20 minutes away from my crib back when I was staying in Detroit or whatever. So,
so Zoe's from the D.
Yeah.
Okay.
From like it's like the outskirts, like Southfield, Farmington Hills situation. But family still from here or whatever. So, anyways, so yeah, man, I was like, man, this cat's crazy, you know, and you know, I didn't know of him. I just knew his music. I thought the dude was dope. Blah 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 blah. So when I moved to England, I had a short stint there for maybe about 4 or 5 years, and he. Foreign Exchange had reached out to me to do a remix for one of his songs, which was This Could Be the Night, right? Talked to him a little bit after that. That had been like maybe like 13 or 14 or whatever. Yeah. And then when I returned back to the United States, I ended up moving to to Maryland, and he stayed there. He's still living there now, but we met for the first time in person in 2017. Still never cut no music though. We still never cut no music. So probably around 19, this had to be maybe around in May of 2019, I think it was, is when, because I think at the time he was like going through a little bit of the almighty beat block, you know, and plateau situation, trying to figure it out, blah, 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 blah.
I've been there.
I mean, we all have it. We've all been there. But anyways, so he had invited me to come over to his crib, bro. And when I say the first time we made one record, he was like, God damn, man, why we didn't do this before? And then literally that started a year-long come over to your crib every Wednesday or Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. We rock out on some records, and that's how the whole Abstractions got made in that process.
I think I remember when you guys first because we were all inside obviously during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think you had posted something one time, and you were playing like a sample, and like you were cooking. You guys were just cooking up. And I was like, oh my God, it was crazy. I mean, crazy. But you had mentioned something, you going to the UK. You lived in the UK for a minute. Going to the UK, did that help influence the musicality that you have right now in your music?
I mean, it gave it definitely a more broader approach to it. I was already on my way to kind of, because I started playing when I was 27. I started really dialing them keys. So for the first,
which is like yesterday,
right? I know, right? It's 14 years now. Shit. But anyways, but it kind of gave me a broader scope. But I would say, like, me moving to England actually is what started my whole career, in a sense, where it became not just in the States, but like where people started to know me in other different countries, and I got to experience traveling, performing, meeting different cultures. I did all of my tours over there when I stayed over there for those 5.5 years, you know. So my first tour that I headlined for myself was in 2014, where I went to Australia and New Zealand for 2 weeks.
Wow.
You know, and so you got to understand, I had a moment. I'm like, man, I remember when I said this thing, I said, I just want to make the music for the world and I want to travel. I said that at 17 years old. And then it happened. It was from there that it was like, okay, I have to continue doing this thing, you know, because obviously I done something right from this little bitty software that cost me $60, and it took me to a whole completely different country. And really far, far, far east, down in the in the ruins or whatever, you know what I mean? And the experiences that I got to do out of that was just insane. So,
how did you actually end up in the UK?
Oh, I was married.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was you follow a woman and they might take you anywhere. So, but I mean, in a sense though, man, I mean, it was a most greatest blessing ever, because like I said, the relationships that I got out of that experience, the actual places that I got to travel to, you know, it was just insane.
Did you meet Mr. Peterson goes?
I met him like 3 different times. I remember when I first got there, because he had put my first piece of vinyl that I put out was with Bastard Jazz, but the track that I used on that was actually on Giles's Brownswood Bubblers 11, Watergate, where I remixed Water Get No Enemy from Fela Kuti, right? And so that actually that actually got on that compilation. And so it was a couple of times he actually did some things for me or whatever. And yeah, that was like the beginning of where, you know, cats start really, by him shedding light to some of my music is what kind of started doing the buzz around as far as like interest from other DJs and fans and things like that, though, you know.
Speaking of DJs, we know you got a good relationship with Eddie's favorite DJ.
Yeah, man.
DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh my God. Don't do it.
Listen, you want to ask the question? I know you're excited to ask it.
I am. No, you can ask it, bro. Because no, I'll just one more time. You know Tico, and Tico's my bro.
He's a alien.
Tico's an alien.
This is what he is. Hold on, right quick. This is what he is. I got it right here. He that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Tico. Yeah, that's Tico.
This is Tico. Tico. So when you see Tico, just tell me that.
Yes, Tico, man.
AKA
man.
Grogu.
Jeez.
Yeah, he is, man. He is just an alien, man. But I remember, well, I knew about your music prior to, but I was just like looking on Facebook, and I was just like, man, the whole sessions for the Chasing Goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I see some of my peers.
Yeah.
You know, like it was Docs in there, you know, Carvin and Ivan.
Yep.
You know, just Stro Elliott.
Yep.
But everybody, Glenn Lewis, the album was beautiful. Cody Tatum.
Cody.
You know, Eric Lau was there.
Yep.
It was a beautiful thing, man. And y'all post I was there in real time with all y'all when y'all when you guys were going live, and y'all released the album literally about a week later, plus 2 days, and the album's out. And I saw you in there, and you were there.
Just understand this, though. So just think about what you just said, bro. That album was made in 7 days and add 2 days, so 9 days.
Yeah.
Do you understand how hard to be able to take on a task like that when you have that type of caliber talent in one place, and how to hone them in to do the job? it's hard enough for people to do one fucking song in a year, let alone in 9 days.
Yeah.
Record, demo, mix, release,
master. Yeah.
master, pictures, done. You understand?
We're not talking about an instrumental album either, too.
No,
is what
these are
we're talking
full songs. These are these are full constructed songs. You know, I would say that process right there, bro, was like the hands down most amazing thing I ever saw, and it actually allowed me to see how records were actually being put together, even in going in the lines of how Motown put their records together. It's a process that goes along with that. You know what I'm saying? And when you involve a whole bunch of talented people and they're specializing in specific things, and everybody knows their role, and you work backwards, you know, to get this thing done. And I would say, man, like, I am so grateful the fact that Jazzy Jeff gave me the opportunity to come there, because a lot of Chasing Goosebumps, I kind of just sat back and watched.
I saw the whole thing in real time. I was just like, wow, okay, there's this tall black guy right there. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I know Jeff was serving food and everybody was eating.
Yeah.
I saw you in the background. I was like, man, there's everybody in here, man. There's Daniel Crawford.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, Cuddy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And
all the guys.
I just knew that the album was gonna be insane. How'd you meet Jeff, actually, by the way?
Man, I had submitted some music. Actually, my manager did at the time. Mm-hmm. Which, again, see how this goes around? This is my ex-wife. She used to manage me. So you got to see how that all this ties in together. She submitted some music, I think, to like DJ Day. DJ Day was cool with Jeff. He played myself. He played Sade's Taboo, the flip I did, and then he played, and then I think on the same joint, I think he played him or sent him Stroh's Soul to Stroh before everybody kind of knew what it was.
Yeah.
And then from there, bro, that's how he initially even got the idea to even try to take on the task of starting a retreat, you know, at least in the musical scheme of it, whatever. And he hit me up, man, and I was just like, yo, I'm getting contacted by DJ Jazzy Jeff.
What is going on?
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't really fanboy out though. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of just like, damn, okay, I must be doing something right.
I literally would have fanned out. I would be like, hold on for a second.
And even when I met him in person, I mean, he was just like, we dapped it up. Yeah. Dude, just like my cool uncle. And, you know, very, very giving of his, first of all, of where we're at, which is his accommodation, but not only that, his time and his knowledge that he wants to see all of us win, but not only that, he wants to still continue to push good music forward. You know, and by him being in this music industry for as long as he has, and considering a lot of jobs he's done, you know, he's a vessel, man, that so many creatives and careers have started off of him being the nucleus as far as just connecting the dots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it is. I mean, come on, we should bubble wrap. We are going to bubble wrap, Jeff.
Listen.
Forever.
listen,
we need to bubble wrap Jazzy Jeff, man.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna get back to the music real quick, because one of my favorite joints that caught my attention from you was a joint off of the 8 Miles. 8 Miles. Was that on Street Corner, or was it?
No. That was on First Word. First Word.
Okay. The record is called From Home. Oh my God.
From home to working back.
Home.
From home to working back. Yeah.
Yes. From home to working back.
So I made that in 2011, right before I was about to move to England. And I remember I was working at my dad's funeral home.
Oh shit. Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop.
We have something in common, my friend.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Your family is in the mortuary business?
I'm Italian.
There you go. Hey, it's all that.
No.
It's all that.
Yep. all seriousness though, my I mean, shit, I was supposed to carry this morning, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my dad has been in the business for a very, very long time. You know, he was at the cemetery for a little while. I mean, he's licensed director, but now he's at a funeral home. Shouts to. I mean, shouting out the funeral home. Shouts to Sinatra Funeral Home, I guess.
Hey, listen, Andrew
in Yonkers, New York.
Yeah,
might as well.
Yeah,
all the
fuck it.
things.
I used to say back in the days, I was like, when I said back in the days, but not, about a decade ago. I'm like, what are you doing? You're bagging them intact, bro.
Yeah.
What's going on? I always thought that was interesting.
Anyways, back to the story for the record. Sorry.
So I was working at the funeral home.
Yeah.
And for some reason, man, it just felt the monotony. I just felt at the time, I was just getting so tired of just going to work to come back home to go to work. So that whole repetition, doing the same thing. I didn't really have anything going on in my life. Everything was in shambles, and that's what came out of that. And that it kind of worked out. It kind of worked out. So yeah.
Oh, here we go. This record right here. Here's my introduction right here to Tall Black Guy. My God. See what I'm saying? Like, this record was made a decade ago, right, T?
Yeah, this was made in 2011. Yep.
Still to this day, the music is that's why we had to have you on the show, man, because the music is gonna age well, man. It's just amazing, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I can't
man.
even
thank y'all, man, for having me on the show, man, and and learning about both of you brothers, in this capacity, though,
yeah,
for sure.
Hey, real quick for all the geeks out there, what pieces of equipment are you using right now?
Let's see if it don't go out. So that's a Prophet.
I see it. Oh my God,
that's a Prophet 5. Hold on, let's see on this side. That's a mini log.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get this one right here. Nah, because the connection is so finicky.
It's all right, man. Tell the people, man.
And it's a Prologue, and then I got this damn. Me and Rapper just
into the mic. Pause.
This joint right here, the SP.
Yeah.
I still haven't used it yet. I haven't touched it.
Yeah. I told him mine's coming on Wednesday.
Yeah. So
he just bought one, and I use the SP. What are you doing with an SP? What seriously? What else can you do? What are you experimenting with?
Well, bro, I mean, let's get this understanding right. So
yeah.
So we have a dear production brother that has been putting it down on this piece of gear for a long time. DiBiase is the hands down the king of this machine, right?
Okay.
So he's the originator. He's the first one to travel this world with. I think Raji did too, though, but DiBiase put it down with it. And so I'm like, I've been in the box. I've been in the software for 20 years, right? And so I'm like, okay, how can I try something new and not necessarily have to always turn my computer on?
Right.
And that's the reason why I even got in the first place. So, like, say I'm not really doing nothing. Let me turn on this machine and see what happens. And even the most organic way, like I sample the drums, do the sample. Now, the difference is that I still would play, but I would probably sample it into the actual machine itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then turn it into as if it was a sample. So, but just want to see what it is. Now, the learning curve for me is going to be the biggest thing because, I haven't really dialed in on drum machines. I've always done drums manually, meaning that I always draw my drums out with a mouse. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Okay. I know what you started off with early on, but did you venture off into analog, any MPCs, or you were always in the box?
It was always a software. I mean, I got as much as I could out that one program. I mean, at one point in time, man, straight up my joint was a PC, some little bitty computer speakers, and some headphones. That was my equipment for like at least, I don't know, 10 to 12 years.
What program again?
It was called Sonic Foundry, and then it eventually turned into Sony Acid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same one. It was before Sony bought Sonic Foundry.
Okay.
Did you do all these records? Like
Everything that you hear right on what you just played today was all done from Sony Acid. Yeah. So I was on Sony Acid. What is this? 2023.
Yeah.
I stopped using Sony Acid completely in 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, you switched over to Ableton.
I switched over to Ableton. I switched over to Logic, all within that time frame.
Wait, man. So you did the Nights Over Egypt record.
That was in Sony Acid. Yeah.
All right, we're going back to music real quick. Oh my God. See what I'm talking about? Oh man, I'm back to my childhood right here, bro.
Crazy.
Oh man, what a great record! I'm just saying, you just took a classic, baby. Get this man his fucking flowers, people. I'm cursing. I don't care, baby. This is crazy. We know the records. We know the records. Y'all know the records out there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, come on, man. You don't do it any better than that, man. And I mean, I know the original record, man. Like I grew up on that record.
Hey, listen, bro. You know, the first time I heard that joint, it was on that on Tracy Lee's Many Faces, where they
Of course,
the East
course.
the East joint.
Yeah,
And-
another 215th, and
Yeah, you know what
the
I'm
Jones
saying?
Girls. That was Gamble, a whole Gamble and Huff production.
No, this record was done by Dexter Wanzel, bro. I just found this out the other day.
Was it?
Yes, sir. I just looked at it the other day. Yeah, Dexter Wanzel.
Dexter Wanzel was fucking.
Yeah,
He was a lot.
yeah. The drums. So the Theme of the Planets joint.
Theme of the Planets. Woo! That
So-
whole album,
Yeah.
gangster.
So that drum break on
Reacts
On-
laughing.
that break,
I'm happy, y'all.
the break on We Rolling For You. That's that break right there too. From the
Yeah, yes, of course. I used the joint. I
mean,
used the
everybody's
joint
used
a
that
few times, but woof.
Yeah, everybody. used
Good
that.
Lord.
And it was on the other beat. It was on two beats. It was on the Relax Player. That was the same. That was the same drums. Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. All good because, I mean, like, that's the crazy thing about production. If it's done really well, and if you use, I mean, come on. The Neptunes use their snares and kicks
For
a million times
about
over.
15 years. And
But we, and we knew it as producers and
It
everything.
don't matter,
but
man. It
doesn't matter, man. Primo used the same kick and snare
for
on a lot of records.
a long time.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite. Because that was the Nights Over Egypt kind of backstory on that. That was me really getting into learning how to replay joints. You know what I'm saying? Like samples and stuff, and learning how to start putting chords together to figure it out. You know, so you sit there for a little bit and you play the sections and you play the chords in sections until you can build the whole song.
Yeah.
And then you go and you record it. You know what I'm saying?
That's wonderful. I mean, like, obviously, I know because I've been penalized. Not penalized, but, you know, if you sample records, man, you got to pay.
Yeah.
Did you have anything, like, did you have any sample issues going on?
You know what's crazy, man? I have, knock on wood, I have never had.
I'm going to knock on wood
anything.
for you, bro. Good Lord. Because, oof.
If anything, like it was 2 times. I remember one time Al Green's people came to me one time. I don't know what song it was, but they were like, keep doing your thing. They're really thinking of it. And then with the Water Get No Enemy, Fela joint, they didn't even know what section of the song I sampled because I told, you know, I was trying to clear it and they didn't even know what part of the song I took.
They were like, what is this mother sucker?
She's super silly. And yeah, you know
What is this mother sucker?
So yeah, man, no, it's I've never really had any issues. I mean, like now, because I try to replay. I mean, I still chop. I still will go and chop, but I try to replay the chops and you know, in my chords or whatever. Then just to take the sample all the way together, and it just becomes an original joint after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you do it well, bro, because it's tough. I mean, it only takes a couple times, and I got penalized not penalized, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
what did they tell you? Do you have to just take the joint down, or?
Well, no, they give you, you know, here's the budget for a record, and you're like, oh yeah, dope. And they give you like the first end of your record.
Yeah.
They give you the first end of it. They give you all of it.
Yeah.
And then the back end. It's the back end. You get the back. Like, first of all, I'm young. I was young. You jack off. Pause. People. You jack off the money because I was young.
Yeah.
And because knowing that you're going to get that back end, pause.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Stop. Stop it. We're not playing this fucking game.
Reactions like, just stop it.
No, he's like he's looking at the severity of what I'm saying. I said the back end. he's like, whoa. Anytime we say anything offensive, where's the main one?
Wow. Is that James Brown?
Yes,
yeah,
I got a whole pack.
We have to send you the pack. Pause. We have to.
I got a whole James Brown vocal pack.
All his ad libs and everything.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny.
Nah, but them is dope. Bro. Ain't That a Groove got a nice little one in there.
Oh man. Well, this shit has literally about 300. Is it like 300 or 200 ad libs?
Of course.
Well, he's used that one. First of all, the Hey, play the Craig Mack record, The Flavor in Your Ear, man. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen,
we can start rapping too, Eddie.
This is so incredible, bro. This shit right here. Just a build up.
We had a remix, right? It's all for you.
Pause.
It's all for you.
Niggas is mad, I get more butt than ashtrays. I'm a fair one, I get mine the fast way. Ski mask way, nigga ransom notes. Far from handsome, but damn a nigga tote. More guns than roses, foes is shaking in their boots. A visible bully, like the gooch, disappear, vamoose, you whack to me. Take them rhymes back to the factory. I see the gimmicks, the whack lyrics, the shit is depressing. Please forget it. You're mad cause my style you're admiring. Don't be mad, yes it's hiring. You should have been the cop of hip hop. With that freestyle, you're bound to get shot.
I mean, come on. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
What are we doing? All right, man. What are we really doing here, people? Like, do you understand the technicality? Like, just the layers? Huh? I mean, I'm bugging. That's okay. I'm gonna relax because I've listened to this record in the car. It's better than the original record. With no.
Oh yeah, without question.
And that's with no disrespect to the God Easy Mo B.
But
I feel this more.
This is the thing though.
Yeah.
Easy Mo B's he stripped it back so funky though, bro. That's
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it was a remix just like yours, like with the lyrics. I'm saying.
Yeah.
It just felt. It just. I don't know, like the Marvin shit.
I mean, Marvin.
Yeah.
Marvin is the guy of all time, though. As you can see, that whole wall right there, though.
Yeah, it's all Marvin Gaye.
All Marvin Gaye. That's the Marvin Gaye corner right there.
Man.
You know what I mean?
I have a favorite Marvin Gaye record in mind. What's your favorite Marvin Gaye record?
Like the album?
No, just song. I have a favorite song. What a simple.
Christ, man.
Come on, man.
Fuck. You know what, bro? I would probably say Soon I'll Be Loving You.
Ooh.
Yeah. That one is one of my favorites. I mean, even what's going on, man. When he dropped down to that soul chord, to that D, Jesus. No, it's a C sharp minor. Dog, that shit right there. That's like that's like a good glass of cognac right there, man.
It is, and we talk about music that moves you to tears, like for real.
Yeah.
Like and I'm only saying this because you're from Detroit, and you're a student of the game. You are. I mean, it's evident in your music. You've done the work. It sounds like you know. I feel that you are a student of the game. My favorite Marvin Gaye record, it's What's Happening, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
The chord progressions and just
yep.
You know, like it was about his brother who came back from Vietnam, and he was just lost. You know.
Yeah. Actually, another one too. You Sure Love the Ball. That's my other joint.
Oh yeah.
You Sure Love the Ball.
Did you flip that anything?
Did you sure love the ball? Oh honey. Yep, I did. It's called You Sure Love It on airplane mode.
So you and Zoe, you have releases. I love your albums. Well, there's one official album, and there's an EP in the album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's pulling. Pause. He's pulling out the records.
There you go. Abstractions.
We can still buy that, right, people?
Yeah, we can still get that online, and
yes,
nice little gatefold joint.
See, the album's amazing. Derek Coleman's gonna get at you, but I don't know. He's not gonna get at you because you're 6'5" and he's 6'10".
Right.
And you're both from the D.
Yeah.
He's a West.
Is he still living here?
He is. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he in Detroit or is he in the suburbs?
Oh, he's a suburb.
I thought so. I know. Yes. He ain't out of no city, man.
But all his family, shouts to the Turner family, you know, Hazelwood, 12th Street, 12th Street, you know, Rosa Parks, you know, Linwood, Taylor Avenue.
You
I
already know.
know what it is. Exit 10 off of the.
Yeah, Linwood right there. Get off on the right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exit 10 off of the.
Take it down to the Davis and make it. Yeah.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. I know. I know the D. You know, Wednesday nights, floods. You know?
Dude, floods is still here too.
Are you serious?
Dude, I will never lay my foot in there ever. Never.
Yeah, I missed the River Rock there.
Yeah, I think is that still?
No, it's not. Oh, you kidding me? It was Sundays, River Rock. That was. Trust me, I'm glad I made it out.
Oh man, that's funny.
You know. No, but your music, man, it's just the soul of the city, man. And it's refreshing, you know, because you know, you linked up with Shoes and I hate to say, I mean, I'm not gonna say I hate to say it, but there are a lot of just Dilla, you know, there's a lot of Dilla disciples, excuse me. And I wax poetic about Jay. I met him. We recorded at the same studio, Studio A, out in Dearborn Heights.
Dearborn Heights, yeah.
Shouts to, I don't even think Eric and Marilyn own that studio anymore. Forward and Beat Daily. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've been there before. But, you know, you have, well, I won't say surpassed, but you've definitely surpassed. Because there are a lot of producers who get stuck into Dilla's sound, especially from the city. With no disrespect. But I never thought about it. I was like, oh, he's from Detroit. You know, I knew that he was from Detroit, but I didn't hear it. I just felt like it was just timeless and soulful and just amazing. What's going on with you and Zoe? What's next? Is there another album?
Yeah, man. We actually, man, the last couple years, we have been touring the Abstractions,
yes,
the album, and definitely been fine tuning the show where it's a really, really fun, energetic show, but you know, it definitely is a merger of Voltron at its finest on the way to how we were able to put it together. And then also having some amazing musicians that kind of, you know, the different musicians that kind of come and play with us, you know, it's been great. As far as the album, I mean, I mean, in 19, man, between 19 and right before the pandemic, we recorded so much. So we still got a lot of other songs that didn't even make Abstractions, plus the stuff we've kind of cut just throughout the last 3 years. 3-4 years. Man. So, but yeah, we've been slowly but surely building up, you know, another catalog, you know, and trying to, you know, get some, just to stretch ourselves to go even further, though. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to make another Abstractions too. Like, no, we want to, let's see how far we can challenge ourselves to get to do something different that we would never even imagine, though. You know,
your sound is outerworldly. You can flip any kind of style. Is there any artist that you want to work with?
Jill Scott.
Ooh,
that's it. I mean, that's the number one artist.
Jill Scott.
Jill Scott is the number one of number ones for me.
I mean, like you and Jeff are like brothers.
I don't want to rely on Jeff's relationship with that. I just want to be able to, whenever that time.
Your music speaks.
But whenever the time comes and when the call arises, I want to be in that conversation. If she reaches out personally, I don't know, but that is the number one collaboration for me.
Have you met her?
I've never met her. I've met all the guys that worked on her album, you know, with, you know, like you said earlier, with Carvin.
Carvin Ivan.
Carvin and Ivan, and, you know, Dre and Vidal, and
Dre and Vidal,
you know, obviously Jeff and, you know, James and everybody. But yeah, I've never worked with her personally. I've never even met her personally. So
incredible, man. I know we could sit and wax poetic about your music, man, and I really appreciate you coming on the show, bro.
Oh, absolutely, man. No, we've been trying to make it happen for like the last 2 months, right?
Facts.
You know, and time kind of permitted for all of our schedules with babies and all, you know. So.
No. Listen, man, I just like, man, we are at your service. Me and Shoes have been, for the last month. Gonna happen. And he was like, yo, I got a gig. Yeah. We get it because we're gigging, you know, producers and DJs as well. Why tall black guy? Because you're 6'5".
6'5".
We understand that,
right?
But did you have any names before?
Man, the I'll just tell you where the name came from.
Okay.
I was in graphic design school, and
I went to school for that too.
Jesus
Look
Christ,
at that.
Look at this shit. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, man,
See,
huh?
this is serendipitous. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But anyways, man, went to school. We had an assignment. We had to basically come up with a company. But in the school that I was at, it was like the black population of the school, man, it was like very minimal. It was maybe about 4 or 5 of us, right?
Yeah.
So my way to try to separate myself and what I wanted to name my company was just go the pro-black approach. So the first name I came straight up. The first name I came up with was called Right On Productions. That was like the first thing I came up with, right?
Yeah.
And then somehow, some way, Tall Black Guy Productions, I guess just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And I kept it and it just stuck.
Oh man.
And then that was basically just trying to keep everything, you know, keep everything
One
black.
of the illest names in the game. Like literally. I mean, like, did you ever think I should change it, or it was just like?
Listen, bro. What was crazy, man? When I first went out to do showcases, like beat showcases or whatever. This is back when they were brand new. This wasn't nothing you was really doing, but I remember when the dude called my name up, and they laughed at me though. You know, it's like Tall Black Guy, because there was nobody naming himself like of that, you know, of that type of name, or whatever. It's a silly name, or whatever. But then when the beats came out, they was like, "Oh shit!" You know,
No, I think it's a really powerful name. Period. Like Tall Black Guy.
I mean,
You know
it's
what I'm saying?
it's a
Where's
lot,
the lie? Where's the
Yeah.
lie? And
Yeah.
then when the beats start playing, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
I mean, it's a lot of different things that can go along with that, though. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover.
All right,
know.
that's true. That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? You know, and
You know, there's a lot of love in your music, man. I feel the love, man. I just feel
it's real. It's real.
I feel it, man.
I'm saying that is the whole point. That is literally what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, I've waxed poetic for years about you. So I'm so happy that you came on the show, and man, we really truly appreciate you. Bubble rap, Mr. Yes, bubble rap, Mr. Tall Black Guy. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Shop. We appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.